Here we go. Yep, it started.
Record. Okay. So let's give it a couple more seconds here. And everything that we're like what I'm saying right now, okay? It looks like you're going to also take this and distribute it as content for yourself, right? You
Honestly,
can.
it went so well last time that I think it's a win-win for everybody. I think
100%.
what you're doing is very smart. I don't mean to kiss your butt, but it's
No,
really
I get it.
just like you said, it has many uses. You know what I mean? It could be clients, it could be marketing, it could be so many different. You could have like four people at once, have like a town hall.
Yeah.
You'd be like your boy.
Quaranta.
You could be like your boy. We won't say that. We won't say that.
So everybody, we are visiting. So everybody, we are visiting here with Christian Quaranta. And you guys, it took me probably about 15, 20, 30 different times to be able to say his last name correctly. He has such a big heart and a fantastic white, brilliantly large smile and an amazing, fabulous part. Okay. That
Yeah,
he
love the
allowed me
part.
to say his last name the way that I felt it could be
Yeah,
said. And he's
just
like,
do
no, you
however
say it
you
how you want
want
to say
to.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, just see
But
me
it's
growing up
Christian
in school.
Quaranta.
You've come pretty close, honestly. Every time.
Dude,
I wouldn't have corrected you, honestly. You can call me Mr. Part if you want.
Mr. Part. Well, actually, that's a great. So, Mr. Part, what part of the country are you from? Are you residing in right now? Where are you at geographically? Geographically, where are you
So
at?
I'm in Brooklyn, New York City. My business, not my business, my company's business is headquartered in Staten Island, New York. I'm physically, in Brooklyn.
Nice. And
How about you,
you
my
are
brother?
a. Well, I'm over in
How are
Seattle, the
you?
Seattle area, and hopefully one day, my wife and I will be down in like somewhere a little bit warmer and just to visit. We want to start experiencing palm trees and blue water and sturgeon and all that stuff,
Ooh,
white sand, brown sand. So it's a dream of ours. But here's a question for you. So you are a representative of a company called Blue Collar Capital, right?
yes, yes. I'm a
Okay.
funding manager for Blue Collar Capital. Yes.
Nice. Okay, so what inspired you to pursue a career in funding management for small businesses? I'm curious. Because that's what you do.
Yeah, yeah. So I've worked in the past with consulting small businesses at Paychex. Um, I moved parts of the country. I was where you were at one time. Now I'm in Brooklyn. A friend of mine has the company. I had prior experience, and it does a lot of good. You make money. You get to see the inner workings of businesses, and you kind of get to build relationships, like I like to do. I'm not turn and burn guy. I'm a guy that likes to create a lasting relationship and get to know my clients almost on a personal level. And I like to see businesses get the money they need that they thought was hard to get, and they use it to good use, and they make profit, and they succeed in the process. So
Love it.
what inspired me was, I guess, my prior experience, but knowing that that was rewarding, take it one step further, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and so from your position as a funding, I'm gonna say funding manager, okay, for Blue Collar Capital. And is it bluecollarcapital.com?
It's bluecollarcapital.net.
.net. Okay. So bluecollarcapital.net. As a funding manager there, what personally inside of your chest, your heart, what do you feel when you see a company being able to overcome a financial challenge or accomplish like a goal that they had in place, written down or something set up a while ago, and they're able to achieve that goal through your services, as being able to fund them some uh in the fancy world, it's finances. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you feel? How do you feel when a company is like bringing it all together because you're serving them the way that you do?
Yeah, so it's funny, like in my head, well, and you know, people's heads, there's like a stigma around loans that they're expensive and this and that, and they're not the primary avenue you want to go down. I like to, you know, change people's minds, and in the process, I like to see them overcome their obstacles, and their whole kind of mindset is changed, and you know, they tell their friends about it, and we kind of slowly change the stigma kind of around loans and things, you
Yeah.
know, other financial instruments that I offer. I don't only just offer loans, but just for
Hmm.
conversation's sake, we'll use the word loan. And you know, I like to get to know people on a personal level and see, you know, do diagnostics on their business. What do they need to achieve? What, you know, barriers are in the way? How will this money help them overcome? And
Sure.
you know, how can we get there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. So let's. I want to hang out in that. I still want to hang out in the question though, and I want to just dive a little deeper with it. So let's say that a uh, a contract laborer had a backhoe. Okay, and this is a small operation, maybe like a 2 to 10, employee
Mhm.
company, and their main backhoe kind of went kaput, meaning it started to fail, and they needed to acquire some quick money, some quick funds to be able to get the backhoe repaired so they can finish digging up and forming the foundation of a home that they're building. Okay, and they find Christian Quaranta. Okay,
Bam, you got it. Ding, ding, ding.
yeah, cool. And you fund them the necessary, of finances to get the backhoe repaired. Okay, they finish the job, they come out successful, and they've developed revenue, they've acquired a level of profitability from the job, and then yeah, they might have a bill that they need to tend to over the next 3 to 6 months, or whatever that time frame is, but they are still able to complete the job and still be in business. How does that make Christian feel at the end of the day when you help a business overcome challenges like that? I'm just curious.
Oh, it makes me absolutely awesome. Beyond the money, beyond everything else. Like you kind of elaborated on, like life and business can throw you emergencies and opportunities, and not everyone's fortunate enough to be able to use the bank on the drop of a dime. And
Mm,
you know, that's where I come in, and you know, I can help people get from A to B, and they're pretty surprised in the process how fast the turnaround time is, and you know, how responsive I am. And at the end of the day, you know, they're making money, they're staying in business, and they're, just like you said, their operations continue to flow, and
sure.
nothing is interrupted. You know, that makes me feel like I'm doing my job. I'm a fiduciary in a sense that I'm doing a good, and you know, owning my craft in the process.
Awesome. How do you assess the financial needs of a small business seeking funding?
Yeah, so you know, I run down a small list of questions and do diagnostics. You know, I ask, hey, you know, what is your purpose for seeking funding?
Hmm.
What will you use this money for? What is the problem that's, you know, what's the problem that's causing you the need to get this money? Um,
Okay.
so then we kind of run down and see, hey, will this money with the, you know, higher rate than the bank, um, for a revenue based advance? We also do SBA loans, credit cards, business credit cards, and lines of credit. But what will this funding accomplish for you in a sense where you're gonna profit, and you won't be kind of not mad, but you won't be kicking yourself for paying a little bit higher price tag for the money. I make the
Sure.
analogy with people. It's like taking an Uber. I might pay a little more for the Uber, but they pick me up at 3 a.m. and take me where I want to go all over the city. You know that, Jason. You did
Yeah.
something. But when you take the bus, and I don't mean to bash banks, because in many instances we have this diagnostic conversation. I ask, what's your FICO score? How much
Sure.
gross monthly revenue are you making? Do you have the ability to put up collateral? If they have a high FICO score, if they make a decent amount of money every month, I won't get into specifics with banks and stuff like that, but I tell a lot of people to probably use a traditional brick and mortar bank.
Sure.
For me, some people just can't access that. And through the questions that I go through, we can kind of see, oh, this is a perfect candidate. For revenue-based advances, another stigma is it's kind of predatory, because obviously you can't use a bank. Your pipe burst, or like you said, that piece of equipment that the contractor kind of needs, he's going to
Yeah.
have to use somebody to get the money. He's not going to use a loan shark or whatever. So when you can be honest with people and tell them, hey, you're better suited for a bank, the money
So
will be a little more expensive. You have that transparency. You go through that whole list, and people are happy at the end of the day that we're very upfront and honest.
yeah, and it sounds like what you're also saying is you're not just looking to capture all companies to distribute loans or funds. Okay. It has to be a good fit. And you're vetting companies that you're meeting to make sure that they can, uphold a legitimate, logical loan to handle business with. And you have a system, a process, to be able to vet those companies and to see if it's going to be a good business partnership, right? Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
100%. You hit it right on the head. Just
Okay.
make an analogy. If we fund bad, not bad, but if we fund companies that are unable to fulfill their end of the advance, or line of credit, or the whole list, it's just bad. It's bad for our company, and you want the clients to have a good experience because they'll write a review, or they'll tell their friend, or a bad experience is kind of just logically a bad decision to make. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We have to vet the companies well, because we want them to profit, and make them the higher rate for an advance negligible. Or
Yeah.
if they don't need an advance, we do business credit cards. That's for the first 6 to 18 months, 0% interest rate. But again, the FICO score has to be in the high sixes or above. The revenue-based advance, if you have a 500 FICO score or above, you can get. So again, it's another outlet for people that are kind of boxed out of traditional financing.
Yeah. So that was actually part of my next question is, or you hit the nail on the head with answering part of my next question. My next question was, how do you determine the risks that you take as a representative to Blue Collar Capital, when about to establish a partnership with a business? And it sounds like you not only have the different series of um, tools to be able to vet a company with but you also really look into seeing how a person's credit score is and how much money they're bringing in, and et cetera. I mean, it really is just that cut and dry. That's right? Is that correct?
For revenue-based advances, it's pretty cut and dry. We also look at if they've taken out a position, which is another fancy word for a loan or an advance before, and if they were able to fulfill that. Again, SBA and line of credit are two different animals entirely.
Yeah.
Not to get on a tangent, but SBAs, you can get a bunch of money at a lower rate, which is very comparable to a bank. Real estate developers and kind of flippers use it a lot.
Yeah.
Lines of credit are very useful when you kind of want to pay interest on only what you utilize. So, your Renew Cleanup or, Renew Inbound, and you get, a line of credit for, miscellaneous expenses for repairs or something like that.
Sure.
You're not going to take out a chunk and, pay the money on the chunk. You're just going to pay on what you actually utilize, and you have like a maximum amount you can use, basically.
Can you give an example of what you've personally experienced or one of your teammates has personally experienced with successfully funding a small to medium-sized business and helping them achieve what they needed to? It'd be really cool to
Yeah,
hear
a
maybe
personal
like a short,
story.
quick story about something that successfully came out. Yeah.
Yeah, my I guess my teammate, but he's kind of like my boss. But him and I, his name is Danny. We funded a lawn and tree removal company that they needed. I don't want to get into specifics of the machinery, but they needed a piece of equipment that can kind of like remove trees and kind of do something ancillary besides just lawn care and kind of maintenance. He didn't have a good FICO score. I won't say names or anything like that, but he didn't have a good FICO score. He was making, so for our company, we have a 15,000 a month monthly gross revenue threshold that they have to hit. So for the first few months, he was at like 10, 11. Lawns can be very seasonal, kind of
Yeah.
fluctuates up and down. So we both had to wait kind of and wait and see. But as the weather broke, things ticked up, and we got him 10 grand to buy this piece of equipment. I won't get into how much he paid because
Sure.
it fluctuates on your business standing. If you have positions before, like we said, all these different things, your FICO score.
Yeah.
But this one piece of equipment opened up a whole new universe for him. He was able to make in the first month 30 to 40 grand off that one piece of equipment. So I'll just say he paid 15 for 10. I won't put that in, but that's what he paid.
Sure.
Yeah, but he made 30 in the first month, you know what I mean, with that piece of equipment. And again, emergencies and opportunities. He saw an opportunity. He couldn't. The lawns again are a great business, but when you do both, he was making in tandem a lot of money now, and he said he's going to come back around for probably another installment for a vehicle or a trailer, and yeah, he's very happy, and he's trying to refer me people, and he's like my homeboy now, basically. So
Cool. That's
everything
really great.
everything worked out, made me happy. He texted me, we talk about the Thunder. He's in Oklahoma, so we talk about the
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it's a
lost.
good
They lost.
relationship. They lost, yeah, I
Yeah,
know,
they're not in the playoffs.
The Knicks lost too. I'm a Nets fan, so we got nothing going for us right now.
Well, they lost too, but
So you probably were a big Sean Kemp fan at one time. What fan are you
the
now?
Sonics were like Christian Quaranta. The Sonics were literally maybe 30 years ago. Okay. So, no, I love the Dallas Mavericks and what they're
I
doing
like the
right now.
Mavericks too this year. Yeah, big.
They're
Doncic
insane.
fan. Yeah, they got a lot of pieces this year too. They might win it.
Right
You
now
never know.
they're up against Anthony Edwards, aka
Yeah,
Michael Jordan.
yeah. No, I'm kind of rooting for the Wolves, but if the Mavs do win, I just like seeing good basketball when my team's not in it. The Nets are in the bottom of the bucket right now, so
The Wolves aren't going to win, buddy. It's the
Yeah,
same.
you don't
But
think so? I mean, you never know. You never know, bro.
they are stacked. They are stacked.
They do win games when their backs are on the wall, though. They
Yeah,
have shown
and they're
you that.
stacked.
And if
You're right.
Doncic is playing kind of like, I don't want to use that word. He's playing kind of like half injured right now. And
He's
look what happened with the Knicks. Jalen
he's crushing it.
Brunson, and yeah, there you go.
Okay, so it's always really great to start a business from ground up or come into the middle of one as it's in operation without having to get any kinds of loans. And what I'm saying, right, or credit, business credit, or anything like that, which that's not exactly what I mean. I'm just
No,
gonna
cash is
revert
king.
back to
Cash
saying
is
loans.
king. Yeah, yeah.
Operating just purely off of cash is ideal. I mean, in the business world, if it can happen, but however, getting a loan to either let's say that a company does not have um, cash or the funds to start a business, or a person doesn't have the funds to start a business, or the funds to solve a problem within their operations of the day. It does make sense to get a loan to um, mitigate or manage that type of scenario. Okay, so what advice would you give a small business owner looking to secure funding because that's the route that fits for them that they need to take? What sort of advice would you give them?
Yeah, so with things like you said, with cash flow issues or inventory or equipment upgrades or all those things, just make sure you if you don't use my company, if you use anyone's company, make sure you know what you're getting into. Read the fine print of every agreement. If you install an app on your phone, read that everything. Read every agreement that you come across, because all when you read the fine print, everything's in there. Personal advice is make sure that if it's an opportunity that the amount you're going to make will offset the higher rate and make everything negligible, and you're just a happy camper. Or if it's an emergency, you know, uh, I would say don't do it if your back's absolutely against the wall. But if your back is against the wall, make sure that that money will keep you afloat, and that going forward you'll make X amount of dollars, and your business won't be crippled in the process.
I
But
love it.
in many
And
cases,
right there is a really great moment for me to ask my next question, because where the tree company, I'm sorry, the landscaping company that you mentioned earlier requested funding, they obtained it, and they came out on top. Okay. The converse, what sort of challenges can a small to medium sized business experience through getting funding if they're qualified on the front end, but then they don't manage well on the back? What sort of challenges can they experience?
yeah. So, it's a tough question. So I know that, I guess the word for it is they can kind of like sue you, or the companies can sue you to get the money and take you to court. But again, with the revenue based advance, you didn't put up your collateral, so you're not going to lose your house, or whatever you put up. um, and the challenges you could run into are just you think your money, your cash flow is going to go one way, and then another emergency kind of pops up, or things kind of deviate from the plan, and you might try to find yourself finding more funding to pay for the original funding. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I've heard stories about that. I've heard stories of certain predatory companies, which do exist. They do. Just like certain people say certain banks are almost predatory. I don't want to get into semantics, but it's just you think things will go one way, things go further wrong, and then you're stuck in an agreement that you have to continually pay money over a set period of time, and you don't want any judgments in court against you, and so you just make sure that you have a set plan. You know how to execute a plan, make money, or just stop the bleeding to where you can kind of reset next month, or whenever
Sure.
the term of the loan's over, to where you might have been out of business, this infusion of cash or a credit card, or we're talking bad credit scenarios for the advances. But there's
Yeah.
different things we do, and I have partners that do benefits and insurance. But for this conversation, we'll stick with the advances
Yeah.
because it
And,
is a
and
nice
actually,
subject.
that was actually a fantastic answer to what I was asking. Um, let's segue a little bit. Let's parallel over to a couple different topics, and then we'll wrap up. Okay.
Cool.
So for the first thing I want to say is, first of all, everybody, we are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice. You need to do your own research. If you're a small to medium sized business owner, make sure that you are diving deep into your ability to even look at getting funding, okay, and really see if it makes sense. If you're capable of getting funding from Christian Quaranta,
There
okay,
you
from
go.
bluecollarcapital.net. All right, just make sure that you can do it, and then make sure you're going to be able to follow through with it. We're not financial advisors. We're just talking. We're simply here talking about Blue Collar Capital, how they can help small to medium sized businesses, and how Christian is a funding manager, helping businesses get through challenges, overcoming obstacles, achieving goals through getting the necessary funds for being able to accomplish those things. So here's my last question that I want to ask. Okay. What does, and that we're circling back to the very, very beginning of our conversation, because I really think that this is huge. What do you enjoy most? What does Christian Quaranta enjoy most about working with small to medium sized businesses and helping them grow? I really want to nail this home, because I know your heart, Christian, and I know that you love seeing other people succeed. And I know that you have a passion for business and entrepreneurship. Okay. So if you can take like 60 seconds and drive this home, that'd be awesome.
I'm gonna hit it home when the game. No, I'm kidding. What I like most is, I take it very personally almost. I look at it as like not like a little game, but I take it so personally that when my clients succeed and feel happy, I truly feel happy. And then when they do bad, or they don't have the experience they like, I almost take it to heart. So kind of to
I've
put
seen
it
that.
in a to put it in a nutshell, I like walking hand in hand with my clients along the journey. We're almost like teammates, and when we get to the end of the journey, I like that phone call or that text, like, Christian, thank you so much. You were great every step of the way. You were responsive. You maybe not be the most knowledgeable, not kidding, but you're very responsive. You're thorough, and you took me to a place that I didn't think I could get to, or you helped me out of a bind. And I like just establishing those relationships, and I'm not just like, goodbye. You know what I mean? I'm actually like, I hope to talk to these people again. Establish networks,
Yeah.
and I think that's what it's all about: growing kind of my business credentials, and everything that goes along with that, while helping people and taking
Yeah.
it very personally, what I do and my clients' respective success and failures. So
I love it.
that's it.
Yep. And that's amazing. And you guys, he is absolutely being transparent right now. I know Christian personally from years back, and he has the largest heart for other people. He actually does care about more for others than he does himself. I've seen it. And so I advocate for Christian, okay? And he is with bluecollarcapital.net. Him and his partner Sean, okay, are in the mix. They're in the trenches.
And Danny too.
And Danny,
Yeah.
Sean and Danny and Christian with bluecollarcapital.net are helping small to medium sized businesses get the funding that they need to succeed. Okay. My name is Jason Shearer with renewinbound.com. What we do at renewinbound.com is we help small to medium sized businesses get on-demand exposure so that they can grow in their revenue. And then we also have a division where my business partner, Stacy, she manages and heads the bookkeeping side of things for small to medium sized businesses, helping them save money towards their bottom line. My name's Jason. Christian, it's always good to see your smiling face with a part.
With the part.
You look good,
and
brother.
Let me say one last thing about Jason. Just, likewise, I know him from, past years. And, if you want to do business with anyone, it's Jason. He's thorough. He knows everything back and forth. And just like you've seen in this conversation, he's a character. So he's always fun to deal with. And, I've never had a bad experience, never had one bad sentence with him. So that's it, brother.
Love you, dude.
Love you too, my man. Appreciate it.
Have a great day.
You too. Let me know.
Bye-bye.